Welcome to Coffee Talk with Liquidshano 1973, an inspirational podcast about the ups and downs of life and everything in between. Here's your host, Shane Lakita.
Okay, good morning, folks. Good morning, everybody that's out there listening to my podcast here in the podcast land. I just want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. I know it's the day after, actually, is when I'm recording this, but I'm hoping that your Thanksgiving was great. I'm hoping that outside of all the things that we were faced with, all of the amount of social distancing that they wanted people to be able to do, or less crowds, or less people being able to see each other, or people that have immune deficient conditions that are going on, how you couldn't really be around folks at all during this whole time frame. I'm hoping that whatever happened and whatever situation that you were falling into, that you were in a place where you feel pretty good about what you did and where you were at during the holiday. And I'm hoping that from me to you, you understand how much I appreciate each and every one of you, on how thankful I am for all the support that I get through the podcast, through my social media outlets, through TikTok, through Instagram, through Facebook, through my friendships that I've met, and all of my hip pocket friends that I have that I go all around with, to be able to say, you have no idea what you have until you have a community that stands behind you in every single thing that you try to do and everything that you're trying to be able to move forward with. So I was very thankful yesterday. I sat back. I was with my family. It was very low-key. It was me, it was Crystal, it was Gavin, and my dog Guinness. And we just kind of had a low-key day. You know, we hopped on a little bit of FaceTime, called some family members, really tried to be able to reach out that way. But then we had some turkey, and I made some turkey soup, and we made some desserts and whatever else, and just low-keyed it, right? Because I know that at the same token, on the same time, no matter what's going on that's out there, we are in a place where, listen, I'm listening to doctors and I'm listening to the specialists. No matter what your view is, no matter where you're at politically, I don't really care. To be honest with you, I'm just listening, and I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm wearing my masks. I'm socially distancing. I'm doing all that stuff, right? And so for me, it is what it is. And what's one more Thanksgiving that I can do outside of the whole entire year of 2020 being upside down that I can do to make sure that I'm saving lives and I'm making sure that I'm not basically putting anybody else at risk that's out there, right? So here's where we're at. This is what we were all faced with. But in the grand scheme of things, we're healthy, we're wiser, we're learning as we go along what the new normal for now looks like, at least until we can move forward. And in this crazy upside-down political landscape and upside-down racial landscape and upside-down world that we're living in right now, any sense of normalcy is really, really helpful. You know, at the end of the day, we got to sit down and have dinner together and be thankful for the things that we have. And I was very, very thoughtful and thankful for all the folks that are here listening to this podcast right now, but also all throughout all the platforms that I have. And as I opened with, it's my hip pocket friends. These are the people that are in the trenches with me, no matter what I'm doing, no matter where I'm going, that buy merchandise, that are Patreons for the podcast, are people that support me no matter what. And that's humbling and amazing to me at the same time. And I'm 100% thankful for each and every one of you, because I could not do what I do if it wasn't for you. You see how I was a poet there and I rhymed? I could not do what I do if it wasn't for you. So, but it's true, right? But it's true. So in the grand scheme of things, I'm appreciative of each and every one of you, and all the things that I'm trying to be able to accomplish in life, through my goals, through the podcast, through social media, through all these different things, can only be achieved through the support and love of each and every one of you. So thank you so much, and I hope that you all were safe, and I'm hoping that you were able to at least somewhat contact family or be around family or whatever you decided to do for Thanksgiving. I'm hoping that your day was really well, and it was amazing. You know, what's interesting is I was thinking about it this morning. We got up right here on Black Friday, first thing, before I had to actually, man the phones and be ready for my current job that I do have right now. And basically what we had to do is that we went and got a tree this morning. It's our local farm in the area. They've been through a lot in the last couple of years, but really great farm, good local family, local community, all comes together. And I was shocked at 9 o'clock in the morning when we went to go pick up the tree on how long the line was down the road. There must have been 40 or 50 cars. The whole lot was filled, and they were all parked along the road, and they were all out cutting their tree, and they're all getting ready. And so I thought to myself, what does that mean? Like literally, we used to be able to come here and just be able to get a tree and, go about our merry way and just kind of do our thing, say hello to a few people. But these people were lined up like this, and it was all socially distanced. It was all 6 feet apart from each other. And then it was out in the fields, and it was out there, trimming the tree and doing whatever you had to do. But at the end of the day, what I realized all of a sudden is that people need positivity and festivities, right? People need it. We have gone through this whole entire year of 2020, from the beginning of the year all the way up until now, being socially awkward, being quarantined, being stuck at home, having all this angst and anxiety of an election that's gone awry and upside down and all over the place. All this stuff that's going on in the world. We just need some positivity in the world. And I think that when people had the opportunity to not only spend some time on Thanksgiving with their families and to do the things they wanted to do, they did, and to go get a tree first thing on Black Friday morning, a real tree to put in the house and decorate as a family and come together as a unit, I think is pretty amazing to me. And it tells us something. The human spirit is a lot stronger than what we think it is. And we can come together and we can unite and it was so festive as everybody was out there getting their trees. Everybody had smiles on their faces behind masks, and everybody was out there doing the things that they had to do, saying hello, good morning, Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving, all the things, the local community coming together and just be in a place where we're all coming together and just being a part of it. So I think that it's amazing to me that people can come together and the human nature aspect of it can step up and really do things to be able to continue moving forward, right? I love it. I think it's amazing to me. I think that we are in a place where we need it. And whatever it takes for you to be able to do so, you can do it. So here's a couple things I'm going to go over on this podcast that I want to be able to go over with you. I was sitting on TikTok the other night, and I was sitting there having a conversation, a little 15-second or 60-second video. And one of the things that I came up with, and one of the things that I thought of is if the world needs kindness and the world needs positivity, then why aren't we doing it? How often do we sit around and we complain about how negative things are? We complain about how we're quarantined. We complained about how the president isn't saying whatever, or we complain about the fact that whatever's going on in the grand scheme of things, in the landscape of everything. We complain about the fact that our kids are homeschooling, and we complain about the fact that they're not going back to school, and it's really hurting our society and our kids. We complain. And then we sit there and we know internally we need some force or some realm of positivity to be shared in the world, and we need to do it now. Like literally, we as human beings need it. That's why we're starving for things like Christmas lights and Christmas music and whatever else that you see. Hallmark started up their movies so long ago. AMC's already fired up with theirs, and I was so excited to watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation last night because I was like, this is normal, and this is nice, and it's cool. It's making me laugh. It's not making me think about everything. Now, listen, I'm not trying to be a kumbaya person. I'm not trying to be a person that knows that there isn't a lot of things going on out there with disease and with hospitalizations and with job loss and with all this other stuff and weight gains and all this other stuff that we got going on in our lives. I know that's going on. I'm not stupid. I'm not naive. But I am in a place where I know that if I don't go down the road of trying to be a positive influence and trying to change the world one action at a time continuously, like I always have been, then I'm going to go down a spiral and a run of depression that I may not be able to come back from, right? That's normally where people are at. When they get into that spiral of depression, they cope with things like alcohol or food or whatever else, and they just spiral out of control because they don't feel like they can have a say in the matter. Nothing they do they have any control over, when we really do have a lot more control than what we think we do. So what I did was I was sitting there on TikTok, and I was thinking to myself, how can I positively impact people around me and my tribe that are all around me? And so I came up with something, and I want you guys to think of it. And I'm going to tag it in the profile body of this podcast. The hashtag that I came up with is kindness appointment. Okay. Hashtag kindness appointment, all one word. And so what the concept of it is I want you to grab your phone, whatever phone that you use, Android, iPhone, Google, doesn't matter. Whatever phone that you have, every phone has a calendar in it. And you can open up that calendar and take a look at it. You could see that the calendar has all these little spots to be able to put a calendar appointment in it. And so what I'm challenging people to do is I want you to go into that calendar and I want you to set up a recurring appointment. Now, if you don't know what recurring appointments are, they're appointments that happen the same time every day. And I want you to set up a recurring appointment for however long you want it to go. But I'm doing it till the end of the year, at least on January 1st or 2nd. And I'm going to be able to do it every single day. I set my calendar appointment for 2 p.m. every day. And what it's going to be is that alarm is going to go off at 2 p.m. When the alarm goes off at 2 p.m., I'm going to drop everything that I'm doing at that moment in time. I'm going to stop everything that I'm doing, and I'm going to invest in someone at that moment in time. Now, this investment can be many different forms. It can be something like if you want to be able to call somebody that you know you haven't talked to in a while, or somebody that's alone for the holidays. My original intent was, I was thinking to myself, how many people are alone during the holidays normally, right? One of the biggest times for suicide and depression and whatever else is during Thanksgiving and Christmas time frame because people are alone. Now, not only are they alone, but on top of everything with COVID and not being able to see a lot more people in general, I'm really concerned about people that are just not able to see anybody, and they're stuck at home, or they're on social media, or they're watching the news, and they're going down those doldrums and those spirals that I know so well in my life. And when you think about it, we need help. We need a helping hand. So this is a great way to be able to reach out to those folks. So my intention was, with the kindness appointment, to be able to put it in your calendar, have it go off every day at the same exact time every day, and challenge yourself to be true to yourself and do what you promised yourself you're going to do. So make a phone call. Pick up the phone. FaceTime somebody. FaceTime's even better, folks. I'm not going to lie to you. How many of you really experienced, while we were in the whole Thanksgiving throes yesterday, and we were all sitting around, did a Zoom call with the family, or did a FaceTime with the family, and you guys saw each other face to face, and you guys were conversing, and you could see mannerisms, you could see things you're doing, you could show what you were cooking, or you could play a game, or you could do whatever. And it's just so much more social when you could do it in face and in person. So the kindness appointment, one of the challenges is that if you can make a FaceTime call or a Zoom call or some sort of video call with somebody, do it, guys. You never know what it's going to do for that other person when they can see a smile, or they can see a tear, or they can laugh with somebody, or they can act like they're in the room right next to them when they're all alone. And they don't feel so alone. And so we're reaching out, and we're doing that in a video format. Now, if you can't do video format, or you're not comfortable doing video format, that's okay. You could do a phone call. You could do a text. Whatever it is that you want to do at that moment in time when that alarm goes off, have it ready and in the hopper to know that you're going to do one act of kindness at that moment in time. So the intention is going to be to reach out to people. It's connect people. It's reach across the aisles and be able to see each other again, instead of just in this space where everybody's so divided and we're so split down the middle and all this other stuff. Reach out to somebody and tell them you love them, instead of, what political party do you stand for? Or do you believe in masks, or whatever else that you got going on? How about we just reach across the aisle and reach across each other and say, I love you, I care about you, and I'm inspired by you, and let's go do great things together. What a different message, huh? I mean, at the end of the day, if we could really park in the space of having that message versus all this hate and animosity and upside down and anger and all this stuff, man, we could change the world. We could turn this world around in one full swoop if everybody challenged themselves to be kind, to be loving, to be caring. It's hard for people. We're humans, right? We naturally feel opinionated by a lot of things, and we want to express those opinions, and we are very strong-willed about those opinions, and we're heartfelt about those opinions. It's the way we're brought up. It's the way we're brought up, or the way that we're raised, or the family that we're a part of, or the culture that we're a part of, or whatever else that is going on around you, and whatever you have is within the fabric of who you are. But if you could challenge yourself just to be kind and loving and caring with people that you may not necessarily agree with, people that you may not necessarily get along with, people that you maybe were once friends, but because of the political landscape, you're no longer friends anymore, and you don't talk to each other. Or a family member that you haven't talked to in so long that you're like, oh man, you know what? I feel guilty. Internally, you feel guilty, but you just haven't done it because, well, they haven't reached out to me. So why would I reach out to them? Well, screw that. At your kindness appointment When the alarm goes off, I want you to drop what you're doing and call that person. FaceTime them, video call them, Facebook Messenger them, whatever it takes for you to be able to reach out to somebody to do something kind for somebody. Now, if you don't have anybody that you have during the whole entire time, because you got to think about it, we got about 30 whatever days in December and a couple days left at the end of November. And this is a lot of different situations you're going to come into when 2 o'clock or whatever time that you set that alarm for, when the alarm goes off, you got a lot to do. And that's like 30 some odd times you've got to do something kind for somebody. Holy smokes, everybody. 30 something times you have to do something kind for somebody. I don't know what that concept's all about, because the society that I look at right now isn't wired that way. Everybody's out for themselves. Everybody is angry. Everybody's in this vitriol and anger phase and just mad at the world. And we're not in the place where people are sharing with each other, being kind with each other, and doing the things. So use this as a catalyst for yourself and challenge others to do so too. So hashtag kindness appointment is what I'm going to tag on all my social media platforms, because I feel that it's important to talk about. I think it's important for us to do. And then if you see other people doing positive things, you see other people volunteering, you see other people donating food, you see other people giving back to the communities or challenging themselves to do everything that they can with whatever situation that they're a part of or whatever they can do at their disposal, and they're doing something for others, let's not bash them. Let's not ridicule them. Let's not second guess on them. Support them. Love them, encourage them, do everything we can to be able to continue that type of momentum moving forward, even if it's something you don't agree with. I had a friend that was doing for a local community. Now, this is going to be a really touchy subject for a lot of people. And as you know on this podcast, I don't like talking about religion, politics, or anything like that, right? Because I just don't. And I don't want to get anybody angry, because we're all opinionated and we're all right with our opinions. And I get all that, right? But at the end of the day, This podcast here is about supporting other individuals and loving each other and caring for each other and standing up for each other and doing the right thing, so that way we are all in the same boat. We're all humans. We're all trying to do the right thing and moving forward. I love one of the things that I saw recently, that I saw a person that was on TikTok, and he was doing a speech. He was doing like a small little snippet. And what he was talking about was, no matter what your political party is, no matter how the whole election went down, and everybody's fatigued after the election. Now we're even more fatigued because this thing is going on and on and on with all kinds of stuff. And no matter what your affiliation or what your party is, I believe in who I voted for. You believe in who you voted for. The person next to you believes in who they voted for. We're all still good people. We're all still loving individuals. We have big hearts. We got families. We got people that we care for. We may be headstrong in our views, and we may think of a certain direction as being the right way, like I said earlier, versus a different way. But we're still good people. I'm not going to judge you based on what your affiliation politically is. I'm not going to judge you based on what your views are on certain things. I can't. But you know what we do? We do it all of the time. How many times do we look at somebody, if you're not a Republican, and you look at the red hats that were all over the rallies, looking at them, judging them, looking at them going, these people are crazy, they're brainwashed. Or the other side, where you're looking at the blue side of everything, and you're looking at them going, man, they're so off to the left, they're so this, that, and the other, they're crazy, they're brainwashed, or whatever, right? Every single person that's out there does it, that has any type of opinion politically. But how often do we look at them and say, but they just believe in what they believe? They're still a human being. They're still a person. Kindness matters. I can invest in them. I can reach across the aisle. I can be somebody that's going to be an advocate for communication, love, and cherishing each other for who we are, and encouragement. How often do we think about it that way? We don't. This society is upside down. It's backwards. And why do you think the rest of the world's watching going, man, you guys are crazy. You guys are psychos. Because there's such a divide. And the main part that we forgot to be able to do is to park in the space of kindness and park in the space of encouragement and love and adoration and all these things, putting your hand out to help a brother out instead of pushing a brother down. How many bullies do you see on social media that you see that are out there when somebody puts something on there? What I was originally saying was, if you see somebody doing something good, I had a story of a woman that was doing a fundraiser for Susan Komen. She was doing like a cancer research fundraiser, right, to be able to raise money for our team that they're going to be able to do for breast cancer. And so they were going through it. And how many people jumped into that thread to be able to berate her because Susan Komen doesn't use all the funds or doesn't do this, that, and the other, or they're not good organization or whatever. But this person believed in it. And they studied it. They know what funds go where, but they believed in it. But everybody decided they're going to berate him and bash him and beat him down and do all kinds of stuff instead of encouraging her to say, you're doing a great job. Awesome job. I'll encourage you any way that I can. I may not personally believe in the organization that you're there, but here's the thing. You're doing a great thing for other people and other organizations and studies and research and whatever. Instead of going down the road of encouraging her to say, you did a great job and it's amazing, keep on going, keep fighting and keep fighting for others and helping other people, she got beat up. She was crushed. She must have had 30 comments on there about the organizational stuff and the way that they use their political money and the way that they're this, that, and the other. Who the hell cares? Like, seriously, what is it you? Who are you to judge somebody else for the things that they want to be able to do, right? So kindness appointment is a movement. I think it needs to be incorporated in our everyday life. There's two parts to this podcast that I wanted to talk about. That was the first part. Kindness appointment is we need to make it a movement. We need to share it. We need to talk to our friends and family about it. We need to instill the behavior, show our kids, get them involved, do everything we can to be able to start to change the narrative of where we're at with this society. Start to change the narrative. Instead of beating people down, we're going to lift people up. Now, the second part of this podcast is all based on Thanksgiving, but it's got the same kind of theme to it, right? Thanksgiving gave us a time where we sat down and we just looked at everything. And we were thinking to ourselves, hey, you know what? Let me take a look at what the whole landscape of everything is. Where are we at with everything? I'm thankful for my family. I'm thankful for my dog. I'm thankful for my health. I'm thankful for my house that I have on my head. Even if after the new year, I may be looking for other employment, I'm still thankful for the fact that I have a job right now to be able to help me out with the holidays and do the things that I'm doing, along with a company that will take care of me, even if I am exited from the company that I work for or whatever. I'm thankful. I'm thankful. And I'm thankful. We spend one day where we sit down and think about how thankful we are. And then the next day we wake up going, I hate this. This sucks. I hate everything about this or whatever. With the crowds out there with the Black Friday or rude people all around you or the political landscape or the social media or whatever else gets you right into the mix of everything, getting right back to who we were before in society of just being belligerent, nasty, gross people sometimes, right? When instead, why don't we take the momentum that we just built yesterday, where everybody had a moment to sit down and just breathe for a moment and think to themselves what they're most thankful for, what they're grateful for. And there wasn't a lot of situations, maybe there was, I'm not sure, not in my house, but there wasn't a lot of situations where the topics like politics or the topics like racial inequality or anything like that came into play. What it came into I just love you. I love you at the table. I love everything about you. I thank my wife and my son so many times yesterday for being the number one support for me, a backbone, a lifter for me. I was getting messages from my mother saying, hey, you know what, I got a book you should read about transitioning into next stage of life or where you want to go. My sister telling me that she loved me and she missed me. My stepmother saying that she's got a big old turkey in the oven. There was not a single conversation that was an angry conversation. It was all about love. It was all about kindness. It was all about thankfulness. Even if it was a little bit down in the dumps sometimes when you think about other people wherever you're at. Here's the deal. We have a situation all around us that we can take the momentum that we built from yesterday and carry it forward. We can carry it forward in a way that we can change the world if we want to. We can change the momentum of where we're at. We can do things to be able to move things forward if we just choose to. That's the key. Do you choose to be a positive influence or do you choose to be a negative influence? Which are you going to choose today? Right? Kindness appointment matters this way because it's going to put the focus on you to change the way that you view the lens of whatever you're going through today. And at whatever time that alarm goes off, you've then got to put on your kindness lens, call somebody, reach out to somebody, text somebody, FaceTime somebody, and just invest in them. And if you can't do any of those things, and you can't do all those things that we're talking about through whatever forms or whatever mediums that you can use, the technology is amazing, right? But if you have maybe run out of people to call or whatever else, then focus on doing things locally. When the alarm goes off at 2 o'clock, hey, you know what? There's a great time for you to be able to do so. You can literally say, I'm going to buy the person behind me's lunch. I'm going to buy the coffee for the next few people at Starbucks. I'm going to go out and volunteer. I'm going to give to the local food shelter. I'm going to go do something. Something at that moment in time that you drop what you're doing and just do one act of random kindness. It doesn't even have to be random. It can be strategic. You can think about it in the morning and plan it out, but I just call it the random act of kindness, right? Whatever you can do, kindness just because this is what matters, and we're going to change the world one action at a time. Now, if you don't feel that you can do it, you don't feel that you're a part of that, that's okay. I get it. It's hard to be able to change the way that we are. It's hard to be able to put a positive spin on things of when people are feeling kind of down in the dumps and they're feeling kind of out of whack and out of service and all the other things that we're trying to be able to do. Quarantine for however long, not being able to leave their houses, kids are homeschooling and whatever else. You might feel down in the dumps, but do it for me. Make a change. Try to change your view, change your lens, change your attitude, and change the way that you treat people. It's the only way we're going to be able to move this society forward in a way that's not going to be just angry all the time. I'm exhausted of an angry environment. I'm exhausted and I'm mentally fatigued of political landscapes. I'm exhausted from the person right up to the top all the way down to the bottom of where we're at right now in a society where we just show hate and animosity and all this different stuff. It's difficult. It's going to take work, it's going to take energy, and it's going to take momentum. But I know we can do it. I know you can do it. Hold yourself accountable. Right now, pull out your phone, go into the calendar app, make that recurring appointment, title it Kindness Appointment, and know what the intention of it is, and follow through, guys. And I want to hear stories of it. I want you to share with me, whether it's on my Liquidshano 1973 page on Facebook, whether it's on No Finish Line Nation, whether it's on TikTok, whether it's on Instagram or whatever. I want to hear some of your stories around kindness appointment. I want to hear how these conversations are going. I want to see some of the examples of some of the positivity that we can spread in the world. Because remember, like I always say, our actions matter, and we can change the world one positive action at a time. Have a great day, everybody. Hope your holiday was well, and we'll talk soon. See ya.
Thank you for listening to today's podcast. Please do us a favor and leave feedback and a 5-star rating on whatever platform that you use.